sanctuary, pure and holy, tried and true. With thanksgiving, I'll be a living sanctuary for you.
That's a beautiful song by Stephen Plummer, who you'll hear from in a moment. Love keeps lifting me higher, higher. Love keeps lifting me higher, which is an appropriate song for us to begin a faith lift. It's a really quick faith lift. Sometimes in the middle of the week, you know, you had really good intentions and you need a little faith lift. There's an essay that I didn't bring with me, but it just went through my head. It's by Howard Thurman, and he said, help me recall my great intentions. I'm paraphrasing. But he was like, God, you know, remember those good intentions I had? Remember I really wanted to stay on focus, and I really wanted to stay alert, and I really wanted to stay true. Well, help me remember all that, because I've forgotten. So that's what the faith lift is about, for us to just take a pause and remember what we know. To remember what we know. Last week I spoke about faith, and that in the Bible it says that faith is the substance of things hoped for. Because we all hope for wonderful things. Hope is what gives us the courage to move forward and to dream and to want a better world for ourselves, our children, and our children's children. We hope for those things. And faith is the substance of that. My definition of faith, the one I use in Beyond Limits and other classes, is that faith is a belief that has become an expectation. When we expect the best, when we expect what we hope for, we have faith in what we hope for. So we let hope lead us. I sent out a message to some of our Center for Spiritual Living members and said, what question do you have? How can I help you? How can I help lift your faith? And I got many of them that said, there's just too much going on. Two people in particular listed all the changes that had gone on in their life. Changes in their family and their major relationship, changes in their job, changes in the way that they could interact with the other people, the dissension in the world, political arguments, so much going on. One person said, you know, I need a new contract because mine has ended, and I would love to have a honey. Well, she didn't say a honey, but I know she meant a honey, a significant other, but that just sounds so awful. She wants a honey. She wants a permanent place to live. She wants a new contract. There's so much going on. So many balls in the air, and people are juggling them. And a lot of those balls are falling to the ground. And they're wondering what to do. Well, I read these particular comments, and all I could do is think of Job. And historians and Bible scholars have made so much out of this book of Job. There's so many interpretations. Why was it written, and why was it kept, and why is it reread, and why do people study it? It's who wrote it and why. And the best I can come up with is it was someone's desire to explain how really bad things can happen to really good people. And if you're watching this, you're a really good person, and you really do wonder why bad things are happening. You do. And so did Job. According to the story, Job was a God-fearing, God-loving human being who had a wife and children and cattle and sheep and donkeys and property and servants and his health, and everything was wonderful, and something came along and killed the cattle, and something came along and killed the sheep, and then his property was decimated, and the crops were gone, and his servants were kidnapped and stolen, and the kids died. I mean, just... And then he still loves God, and then he gets boils. Like, how could it get any worse? He lost everything in his physical world except for his wife, and then he loses his health, and his wife keeps saying, "Are you sure you still love God? What's going on with you that you could have all this bad luck? Because remember, we had such a good life, and what did you do to cause all this?" Which I think some of us may relate to. So his friends show up, and they sit around the campfire, and they mourn with him and kibitz with him and make it, they're throwing ashes on themselves and what is going on? What did you do? I didn't do anything wrong. Well, you must have done something wrong, because this is so disastrous. This is the metaphysical interpretation of Job. What in your consciousness created all of this? How did you make God so mad? How did you offend the universe this badly that this could happen? Now, I don't think that a lot of us are looking out at the world and saying, how did I create a pandemic? But we might say, how did I wreck that relationship? Or how is it that my children aren't respectful? Or how is it that I haven't gotten another job? Or how is it that I'm not able to pay my rent? And blah, 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 blah. Well, this is Job. Oh, by the way, it goes on for 41 chapters. 41 chapters. You must have done this. No, I didn't. You must have done this. No, I didn't. Well, this is how the universe works. This is how it all goes on. It's just, how many of us do that? The round and around and around and around. How many of you have had a loss and you go around and around and around of what did you do, what did they do, and you rehearse every conversation, and you rehearse every little action and every way they held their eyes, and you make a big deal of it. This is it. 41 chapters. And finally, God breaks in. And God says, you weren't around when I created everything. I'm paraphrasing. You weren't around when I created everything. You don't know how I do anything. So why in the world are you even having this discussion? And Job finally says, I know that thou canst do all these things, meaning you can do all the things that God talks about. I can create whirlwinds, I can create deserts, I can create trees. I know that you can do all these things, and that no purpose can be hid from thee. Who am I to think I can give counsel without knowledge? Therefore, thou hast declared to me that I must utter that which I did not understand, things too wonderful for me, which I did not know. Meaning, I give up. I may not understand this. I may not understand why my in-laws don't like me. I may not understand why I lost the job. I may not understand why there's a pandemic. I may not understand why people don't wear masks. I may not understand why we can't all get along. It is beyond me. To say that it is beyond me is the first step in transformation, because we're getting our little me out of the way. Our little me out of the way. That part that wants to fix it or at least understand it. How many of you have said, if I could only understand? Job is, you can't. Now, you may understand God's message to you in a moment. You may understand in a moment how to reach out and speak to someone else, but the whole understanding, this whole big thing that is just upon us right now, we will probably not understand. But this is the wonderful part. Job gave up and just surrendered, and this is the thing I love. And the Lord restored to Job all that he had lost when he prayed for his friends. So Job not only prayed that he would surrender, but he also prayed to bless his friends, the ones that had been ruminating with, the ones that had been sitting around the campfire talking about how awful it was for 41 chapters. Also, God gave back Job twice as much as he had had before. So he blessed Job, and then when Job prayed for others out of his fullness, he gave him twice as much. So it goes on and on to say how many yokes of oxen he got, how many asses, which means donkeys, he got. I'm sorry, that does say asses. His sheep came back, his camels came back. He had, somehow in his life, he had 7 more sons and 3 more daughters. It goes on, and he lived, and then it goes, so Job died, being old and content and full of days. That's my prayer for you, no matter what's going on. That we surrender to something greater than ourselves, and that when we die, we are content and full of days. So, let love lift us. Let the presence of God, the Holy Spirit, lift us, lift you, lift me into contentment, because that's God's gift to us.
Though there are times when I cannot see the path in front of me, I lose my way and feel so alone. Like every friend I've ever known is gone. So far, far from home. Then I hear life call to me. There are choices to make. So how will it be? Are you gonna play safe, risk nothing at all? Or will you rise up with the colors of dawn, illuminating every step that you take? I'm rising in love. I'm rising in love. This is my choice. This is my life. And I'm rising in love. And love is higher. And fear won't stop it. No, it won't. I won't stop it. I can't stop it, no. 'Cause I know that the love is within me. Love, love, divine Spirit God within me. Your love flows throughout so naturally, raising my heart, singing my voice. Speaking of love, calming the noise, and generating every breath that I take. Oh, and I'm rising in love. Yes, I am. I'm rising in love every day, every day. This is my choice. This is my choice and my life. And I'm rising in love. You know, the love's lifting us higher. Yes, it is. I know that love lifting us higher. It is. Love is lifting us so high right now. Love is lifting us. It's my choice, yes it is. Always choose love. Oh.